Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the viewing window of Orbital Station Delta, her reflection ghosting against the stars beyond. Behind her, the assembled crew waited in tense silence. The Galactic Council's delegation would arrive any minute now, bearing what they called a welcome gift to humanity. "Status check," she said quietly. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice carried from his console. "All diplomatic protocols in place. Admiral. Defense grid is passive but ready. First contact procedures are go." The massive alien vessel materialized at the edge of Earth's defense perimeter, its crystalline structure catching sunlight in prismatic arrays. It dwarfed their station, a reminder of humanity's relative youth among the stars. 3 smaller ships escorted it, their designs marking them as Council diplomatic vessels. "Incoming transmission," Rodriguez announced. "They're requesting docking clearance." "Granted," Chen replied, straightening her uniform. Earth had achieved faster-than-light travel only 5 years ago, and already the established powers of the galaxy had come calling. Not with threats or violence, but with something perhaps more insidious: patronizing generosity. The Council delegation emerged from their ships with typical alien grandeur. The Orcs representative floated on gravitic fields, their serpentine body wrapped in ceremonial metals. The Ven delegate strode on 4 legs of living crystal, while the Merrick observer hummed in their energy form, contained within a diplomatic shell. Admiral Chen, the Orcs representative's translator, conveyed their words with artificial warmth. "We bring greetings from the Galactic Council. And of course, your gift." Chen bowed slightly, exactly as protocol demanded. "The United Earth Federation is honored by the Council's generosity." "As well you should be." The Ven delegate's crystal legs chimed against the deck. "We have chosen a vessel worthy of humanity's current development stage." Through the window, a new ship emerged from the Council vessel's massive hold. Chen's carefully neutral expression nearly cracked. The ship was enormous, yes, but it looked like it had been salvaged from a battlefield. Its hull was a patchwork of different materials, some sections obviously repaired multiple times. The engine configuration was unlike anything in Earth's database, but at least 3 of the drive units appeared completely dead. "This is the Star Wanderer," the Orcs announced proudly. "A former Council peacekeeping vessel. We have modified it to be more appropriate for your species." Modified was a polite way of putting it. Chen could see exposed framework in some sections, and what looked suspiciously like weapon mount points that had been hastily plated over. The bridge module was clearly a newer addition, grafted onto the original structure with all the grace of a rushed repair job. "The Star Wanderer has served in 17 different planetary systems." The Merrick observer's shell pulsed with colors. "It has been adapted to better suit a developing civilization's capabilities." Chen caught the hidden meaning. They'd stripped it down, removed anything they thought humanity couldn't handle. It was meant to be a leash. Give the humans a taste of real space travel while keeping them dependent on Council technology and guidance. "We will transfer the command codes and technical documentation immediately," the Orcs continued. "Our engineering teams stand ready to assist your people in understanding the basic operations. We wouldn't want you to strain yourselves." "That's very thoughtful," Chen replied, her tone revealing nothing of her thoughts. "I'm sure our engineers will be eager to learn." The delegation exchanged looks that Chen had learned to recognize as smugness. They expected gratitude, submission, perhaps even embarrassment at receiving such an obviously depreciated vessel. They didn't understand humans at all. As the formal ceremony proceeded, Chen sent a private message to her chief engineer, Dr. Maya Patel. "Initial assessment." The reply came quickly. "They think they're clever, Admiral. The base technology is centuries ahead of ours, even in this state, and they missed things in their rush to downgrade it. Give me 3 months. We'll show them what clever really means." Chen allowed herself a small smile. The Council races had evolved along similar paths, developing technology in predictable sequences. Humanity had been forced to innovate, to find alternate solutions to problems the Council races had solved with brute force and unlimited resources. Where they saw limitations, humans saw possibilities. "There is, of course, one small matter," the Venn delegate chimed. "The Council requires regular inspections to ensure the vessel is being operated safely. For your own protection, naturally." "Naturally," Chen agreed. "We would welcome such concern for our well-being." She could already imagine Dr. Patel's team designing systems that could be reconfigured between inspections, hidden innovations that would transform the Star Wanderer into something the Council never intended. The ceremony concluded with the traditional exchange of diplomatic pleasantries. As the Council delegation prepared to depart, the Orcs representative coiled closer to Chen. "We look forward to seeing how humanity adapts to its place in the galactic community," they said, the translator unable to fully mask the condescension in their tone. "We look forward to surprising you," Chen replied with perfect diplomacy. The Orcs' scales rippled in what might have been amusement or dismissal. After the delegation departed, Chen stood alone in her office, studying the detailed scans of their gift. The Star Wanderer was a masterpiece of passive-aggressive diplomacy, a carefully calculated insult wrapped in the guise of generosity. But there was something the Council had failed to grasp about humans. They thrived on challenges, learned fastest when underestimated, and had a particular talent for turning other species' cast-offs into something remarkable. She opened a channel to the engineering department. "Dr. Patel, assemble your best teams. I want round-the-clock analysis of every bolt and circuit on that ship. The Council wants to see how we'll adapt." She allowed herself a genuine smile. Let's show them evolution in action. The next few weeks would mark the beginning of humanity's real entrance onto the galactic stage. The Council thought they had given Earth a degraded warship. Instead, they had handed humans exactly what they needed: a challenge, an opportunity, and most importantly, access to technologies that could reverse engineer and improve upon in ways the Council would never expect. The Star Wanderer hung in space, scared and seemingly defeated. But like humanity itself, its true potential lay not in its current state, but in what it could become. The Council races were about to learn an important lesson about underestimating humans. Sometimes the most dangerous gift is giving someone exactly what they asked for, especially when that someone has a habit of rewriting the rules of what's possible. Dr. Maya Patel's footsteps echoed through the cavernous engine room of the Star Wanderer, her tablet's holographic display casting a blue glow across the alien machinery. 3 weeks had passed since the Council's gift, and each day brought new discoveries that made her increasingly glad she'd insisted on complete radio silence within the ship's hull. "Show me the quantum manifold readings again," she called to her team. The massive chamber hummed with activity as engineers and technicians swarmed over every surface, their magnetic boots keeping them anchored in the inconsistent artificial gravity. Lieutenant Kirajong, her second in command, floated down from an upper gantry. "You need to see this, Doc. We found something interesting in the auxiliary power matrix." Maya followed Kira to a section of the ship that, according to the Council's documentation, was merely a backup power routing system. The younger engineer pointed to a series of crystalline structures embedded in the wall. "They tried to deactivate it by removing the control interfaces," Kira explained, "but look at the base frequency emissions." She held up her scanner, showing a complex waveform pattern. Maya's eyes widened. "That's not a power router. That's a quantum field generator. They didn't deactivate it. They just hid the controls." She touched the crystal matrix gently. "They really don't understand how we think, do they?" "How so?" "They assumed that without their control systems, we'd see this as useless. They never considered we might develop our own interface." Maya tapped her tablet, bringing up the schematics they'd compiled so far. "This isn't just a generator. It's part of a larger system. Look at the energy conduit patterns throughout the ship." The hologram expanded, showing a web of similar crystalline structures throughout the vessel. What had appeared to be random repair patches and structural reinforcements formed a clear pattern when viewed as a whole. They didn't give us a stripped-down warship, Maya breathed. They gave us a quantum-grade battlecruiser and thought we wouldn't recognize it because they changed the wrapping. Back in her makeshift office, a converted storage bay near the ship's core, Maya compiled her findings for Admiral Chen. The Star Wanderer was more than just advanced. It was bleeding-edge technology disguised as outdated surplus. The Council races had been so confident in their technological superiority that they'd missed a crucial fact about human engineering philosophy. Sometimes the simplest solution was the most elegant. "Admiral," she began her report, "remember how we couldn't figure out why they left certain damaged systems in place? They're not damaged, they're dormant. The ship's quantum core isn't running at 12% capacity as they claimed. It's running at 1% of its true capacity because they assumed we couldn't interface with their higher functions." Chen's hologram nodded thoughtfully. "Can we activate these systems without alerting the Council?" "Better than that," Maya grinned. "We can improve them. Their quantum systems are incredibly powerful but rigidly specialized. They never considered using lower-tech solutions as a backup. We can create hybrid systems that they won't even think to look for during inspections." "Explain." Maya brought up another schematic. "They use quantum fields for everything. Propulsion, weapons, shields. But quantum fields have distinct signatures that can be detected. What if we developed a system that could switch between quantum and conventional technology on the fly? They'd scan for quantum signatures, find exactly what they expect, and miss the fact that we've basically built a second ship inside their ship." The next month was a blur of activity. Maya's teams worked in shifts, developing new interfaces and control systems that bridged the gap between human and alien technology. They discovered that the ship's structural damage was actually a sophisticated metamaterial capable of adapting its properties on the quantum level, once they figured out how to control it. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Marcus Wong, a theoretical physicist who'd been studying the ship's quantum core, noticed something odd about the way it interacted with conventional energy fields. The Council races developed quantum technology as a replacement for traditional physics, he explained to Maya over their third cup of synthetic coffee. "But what if we used both? Their quantum systems are more powerful, but our traditional technology is more flexible. If we combine them." The implications were staggering. By using human-designed control systems to regulate the quantum technology, they could achieve effects the Council races had never considered. The ship's metamaterial hull could shift between quantum and conventional states, making it virtually impossible to get an accurate scan of its capabilities. Maya stood in the engine room a week later, watching as they prepared to test their first hybrid system. They'd modified one of the ship's dead engine pods to run on both quantum and conventional power. If it worked, they could switch between the two modes instantly, giving them capabilities that shouldn't be possible according to Council engineering principles. "Power-up sequence initiated," Kira announced from her station. The engine pod hummed to life, quantum fields interacting with traditional thrust systems in perfect harmony. On the monitoring screens, power output climbed steadily past what the Council claimed was the system's maximum capacity. "Hold at 30%. Maya ordered, though she knew the system could handle much more. They had to maintain the appearance of struggling with the technology, at least until they were ready. Admiral Chen's voice came over the comm. "Status report." Maya allowed herself a moment of pride as she looked at the data streaming across her screens. "Admiral, remember how they thought they were giving us an obsolete warship?" She paused for effect. "They actually gave us a quantum tech testing laboratory with a built-in smoke screen. Everything they did to limit the ship's capabilities just makes it easier for us to hide what we're really doing." "And what exactly are we really doing, Doctor?" Maya watched as her team continued their work, human ingenuity breathing new life into alien technology. "We're not just repairing this ship, Admiral. We're rewriting the rules of what's possible. The Council thinks technology has to evolve in a straight line. Quantum replacing conventional, new replacing old. We're proving that true innovation comes from combining different approaches in ways no one expected. The Star Wanderer was becoming something unique in the galaxy, a hybrid of quantum and conventional technology, of alien power and human innovation. And the best part? The Council's own assumptions about humanity's capabilities would prevent them from seeing it until it was too late. "Keep me updated," Chen ordered. "And Dr. Patel, good work. Let's show them what happens when you underestimate human creativity." Maya turned back to her work, already planning the next phase of modifications. The Council had meant to put humanity in its place with their gift. Instead, they'd given humans exactly what they needed to earn their place among the stars, on their own terms. The Council inspection team arrived exactly on schedule, their crystalline shuttle docking with the Star Wanderer in a display of precise alien engineering. Admiral Chen watched from the newly reconstructed bridge as Dr. Patel enacted their carefully choreographed performance. "Power systems at 15% capacity," Maya announced loudly enough for the Orcs inspector to hear, attempting to compensate for quantum field instabilities. She made a show of adjusting controls, letting frustration color her voice. The Orcs' serpentine form coiled in satisfaction as they observed the seemingly struggling human crew. Behind them, the Ven inspector's crystalline appendages clinked against the deck plating as they made notes on their quantum tablet. "Your progress is approximately what we expected," the Orcs' translator conveyed their smug assessment. "Though we had hoped you might have achieved at least 20% efficiency by now." Chen caught Maya's eye and gave an imperceptible nod. Maya's fingers danced across her console, triggering a carefully planned cascade of minor systems fluctuations. Warning lights flashed, and the bridge lighting dimmed momentarily. "Our apologies," Chen said smoothly. "We're still learning to manage the power requirements." What the inspectors couldn't see was Lieutenant Zhang in the auxiliary control room, using their hybrid systems to channel the ship's true power output through hidden pathways. The unstable 15% they were showing was actually a carefully maintained fiction, masking the fact that they could now run the quantum core at over 80% efficiency. After the inspection team departed, convinced of humanity's continued technological inadequacy, Chen called a meeting of her senior staff in the secure conference room they'd built within the ship's quantum field shadow. "Status report," she ordered, looking around the table at the faces of those who had worked tirelessly to transform their gift into something extraordinary. Dr. Marcus Wong spoke first, his holographic displays showing the latest quantum field calculations. "The metamaterial hull is exceeding expectations. We can shift its properties faster than their sensors can adapt." During the inspection, we changed configurations 12 times without them noticing. Lieutenant Zhang nodded in agreement. "The hybrid drive system is fully operational. We can switch between quantum and conventional propulsion in milliseconds. More importantly, we've figured out how to run both simultaneously without creating detectable interference patterns. Better yet," Maya added, "we've reverse-engineered enough of their quantum technology to start making improvements. Their systems are powerful but inflexible. By integrating our adaptive control algorithms, we're pushing capabilities they thought were theoretical." Chen turned to her tactical officer, Commander David Rivera. "Combat readiness." Rivera's dark eyes gleamed as he brought up his own displays. "We've developed what we're calling quantum kinetic hybrid weapons. The Council races rely entirely on quantum energy weapons because they're more advanced. They'd forgotten that sometimes the old ways are still effective." He demonstrated with a simulation showing their new weapon system. "We can use quantum fields to accelerate conventional projectiles to velocities that should be impossible. Their shields are designed to deflect energy weapons, not hypervelocity metal traveling at a significant fraction of light speed." The meeting continued as each department reported their progress, but Chen's attention was drawn to a subtle alert on her neural interface. The quantum sensors they'd refined had detected something unusual at the edge of their range. "Dr. Patel," she interrupted, "are you seeing this?" Maya was already analyzing the data. "Quantum wake signatures. 3. No, 4 ships just dropped out of FTL at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. They're running dark, trying to mask their approach. Chen's expression hardened. Pirates, or something worse. Energy signatures match Drachnid raiders, Rivera reported. They probably think we're an easy target. A damaged ship crewed by primitives. The room fell silent as they realized this might be their first real test. The Drachnid were notorious among council races for targeting developing civilizations, using superior technology to raid colonies and shipping lanes. They're not in the council database you provided, Maya noted, looking at the Orcs' technical documentation. No, Chen smiled grimly. They're not. Which means anything we do to defend ourselves won't be immediately reported back to the council. She stood, her decision made. Battle stations. Let's see what this ship can really do. Dr. Patel, disengage the limiters on the quantum core, but maintain emissions masking. Commander Rivera, ready the hybrid weapons, but keep them powered down until my mark. As her crew moved with practiced efficiency to their posts, Chen felt a surge of pride. The council had meant to humble humanity with their gift, but they had instead created something unprecedented. A crew that understood both quantum and conventional technology, who could think in ways the council races never considered. The Drachnid ships drew closer, no doubt expecting to find easy prey. They had no way of knowing that the battered vessel they were approaching had been transformed by human ingenuity into something unprecedented in the galaxy. Let them make the first move, Chen ordered as she took her place in the command chair. Let them think we're exactly what we appear to be. And then, she smiled, thinking of all the hours her crew had spent preparing for just such a moment. Let's show them what happens when you underestimate humanity. The Star Wanderer hung in space, looking for all the world like a struggling hand-me-down gifted to a primitive species. But beneath its scared exterior, quantum fields merged with conventional technology in ways the Council had never imagined, and a crew trained to exploit every advantage waited for the order to reveal their true capabilities. The game of appearing weak was about to end. And when it did, the galaxy would learn an important lesson about the danger of giving humans exactly what they needed to surpass their teachers. The Drachnid raiders approached with the confidence of predators who had never become prey. Their ships, sleek and deadly, arranged themselves in an attack formation that had devastated countless merchant vessels and colonial outposts. Their charging weapons, Commander Rivera reported from his tactical station. Standard quantum pulse cannons, high yield. Admiral Chen nodded calmly. Continue playing dead. Let them think their sensors are telling them everything they need to know. The Star Wanderer drifted, appearing to struggle with basic maneuvering. Maya's team had perfected the art of making their advanced systems look like barely functioning hand-me-downs. Power readings fluctuated exactly as they would on a ship struggling to maintain basic operations. Incoming transmission, Lieutenant Zhang announced. A harsh voice filled the bridge, translated from the Drachnid language. Primitive vessel, power down, and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and we will destroy you. Chen smiled. No response. Let them come closer. The raiders took the bait, moving into optimal firing position. Their sensors would be showing them exactly what they expected to see. A damaged vessel crewed by a species barely capable of interstellar flight. They're in position, Rivera confirmed. All ships within the quantum field envelope. Chen leaned forward. Dr. Patel, initiate Protocol Phoenix. Maya's fingers flew across her console. Deep within the Star Wanderer, systems that had been purposefully hidden began to awaken. The quantum core surged to full power, but instead of radiating energy in the usual patterns, it fed into the hybrid systems they'd created. What? The Drachnid transmission cut off as their sensors suddenly registered the change. But by then, it was too late. Quantum field inversion, Maya announced. Hybrid systems online. They're trapped in our bubble. The Star Wanderer's metamaterial hull shifted, patterns of energy flowing through it in ways the Council races had never imagined. The raiders' quantum pulse weapons fired. only to find their energy absorbed and redirected by fields that shouldn't have existed. "Return fire," Chen ordered. "Show them our innovation." Commander Rivera engaged their hybrid weapons. Projectiles accelerated by quantum fields streaked toward the Drachnid ships, moving at velocities that defied conventional physics. The Raiders' shields, designed to defend against pure energy weapons, might as well have been tissue paper. Direct hits on 2 vessels, Rivera reported with professional satisfaction. Their shields had no defense against kinetic impacts at quantum velocities. The remaining Raiders attempted to retreat, but found themselves caught in the Star Wanderer's quantum field bubble. Maya had adapted the Council's own technology to create a localized space where their conventional FTL drives couldn't function. "They're trying to communicate," Zhang reported. "Now they want to talk," Chen mused. "Put them on screen." The Drachnid commander's scaled face appeared, mandibles clicking in agitation. "What trickery is this? You're supposed to be primitives." "A common misconception," Chen replied smoothly. "One we found quite useful. Now shall we discuss the terms of your surrender?" The battle, if it could even be called that, was over in minutes. 2 Drachnid ships were crippled, their quantum cores shut down by precisely targeted hybrid weapons. The other 2, including the command vessel, found themselves completely at the mercy of technology they couldn't understand. "Quantum containment fields are holding," Maya reported. "We can maintain this bubble indefinitely. They're not going anywhere unless we let them." Chen stood, surveying the scene on the main viewer. The feared Drachnid raiders, reduced to floating helplessly in space by a ship they had dismissed as primitive. It was a fitting metaphor for humanity's position in the galaxy. "Send a message to Earth Command," she ordered. "Inform them we've apprehended raiders operating in our space. Request containment crews and diplomatic personnel." She paused. "And send a courtesy notice to the Council. They'll want to know that their gift has been useful in maintaining order in this sector." The bridge crew shared knowing looks. The Council would receive sensor data showing a barely functional ship somehow getting lucky against raiders. The hybrid systems, the quantum field manipulations, the true extent of their capabilities. All of it would remain hidden behind a carefully maintained facade of struggling competence. "Dr. Wong," Chen turned to their quantum physicist, "prepare a detailed analysis of the battle, focusing on the parts we want the Council to see. Let's make sure our story of barely surviving through desperate measures holds up to scrutiny." As her crew worked to secure their prisoners and document their victory, Chen reflected on the irony of their situation. The Council had given them a ship stripped of its most advanced features, thinking to keep humanity dependent and controllable. Instead, they had provided the perfect cover for innovation. The Star Wanderer's scared exterior now hid capabilities that the Council races would consider impossible, not because they couldn't be achieved, but because no one had thought to combine technologies in this way. It was a testament to human ingenuity, to their ability to find new paths when the conventional routes were blocked. "Admiral," Maya called out, "I'm detecting quantum communication bursts from the Drachnid ships. Others will know what happened here." Chen nodded. "Good. Let them spread the word. Sometimes the most effective defense is reputation." She turned to her crew. "The Council wanted to see how we'd adapt to our place in the galactic community. I'd say we're adapting quite well, wouldn't you?" The Star Wanderer hung in space, its true nature hidden beneath battle scars and patches. But now those scars told a different story, not of decay and limitation, but of a species that turned every disadvantage into opportunity, every limitation into innovation. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity wouldn't simply accept the role they'd been given. They would redefine it, one impossible achievement at a time. News of the Drachnid Raiders' defeat spread through the galactic community like a quantum wave, impossible to contain. The Council chambers buzzed with confusion and disbelief as representatives from various species debated how a primitive human vessel had managed to overcome one of the most notorious raiding groups in the outer sectors. Admiral Chen stood before the hastily convened council session, her dress uniform pristine as she delivered her report. The Star Wanderer floated outside the council station, its battle-scarred exterior now a badge of honor rather than a mark of shame. As you can see from our sensor logs, Chen explained, displaying carefully edited data, we were forced to improvise with the resources available to us. The ship performed adequately, given our technological limitations. The Orcs representative's scales rippled with agitation. Adequately, you destroyed 2 Drachnid vessels and captured 2 more. With a decommissioned ship we gave you less than 6 months ago. Sometimes, Chen replied diplomatically, limitations breed innovation. Dr. Maya Patel stood at her side, adding technical credibility to their carefully constructed narrative. We simply applied basic principles to the systems we could understand. The quantum core's interaction with conventional physics provided unexpected advantages. The council members shifted uncomfortably. The Venn representative's crystalline form refracted light in patterns indicating deep thought. Show us these basic principles you applied. Maya brought up diagrams of their most primitive modifications, the ones they'd prepared specifically for council inspection. As you can see, we had to rely on conventional technology to supplement the quantum systems we couldn't fully utilize. Rather crude, by your standards, but effective in an emergency. The Merrick Observer's energy form pulsed with what might have been skepticism. And you expect us to believe that such primitive adaptations allowed you to defeat Drachnid quantum weaponry? The evidence is in the sensor logs, Chen responded. And of course, in the Drachnid ships currently in our custody. We would be happy to share all our tactical data, in the interest of galactic security. The council chamber erupted in overlapping conversations as representatives debated the implications. Chen and Maya exchanged subtle glances. The tactical data they'd offered had been carefully curated to show exactly what the council expected to see. Humans struggling with advanced technology, succeeding through desperate innovation rather than true understanding. The truth, hidden beneath layers of carefully maintained deception, was far more revolutionary. The Star Wanderer had become something unprecedented in galactic history, a perfect fusion of quantum and conventional technology, capable of feats that the Council races considered impossible simply because they'd never thought to try. There is another matter, the Orcs representative announced, calling the chamber to order. Several Council races have expressed interest in establishing direct technological exchange programs with Earth. Chen raised an eyebrow. Exchange programs. Your unique approach to problem-solving has attracted attention. While your methods are unorthodox, they have proven surprisingly effective. Perhaps there is merit in examining alternative perspectives. Maya struggled to keep her expression neutral. The Council races, who had given them a stripped-down ship as a patronizing gesture, were now seeking to learn from humanity. The irony was delicious. We would welcome such exchanges, Chen replied graciously. Earth has always valued the opportunity to learn from more advanced civilizations. She emphasized the word advanced ever so slightly, watching the council members preen at the perceived flattery. As they left the council chamber, Maya whispered, "They still don't understand what really happened, do they?" Chen shook her head slightly. They understand what they're ready to understand. They see humans as clever primitives who got lucky by thinking outside their conventional boundaries. They don't realize we've completely rewritten those boundaries. Back aboard the Star Wanderer, the crew celebrated their success with quiet pride. The ship that had been meant to keep humanity in its place had instead become the key to their advancement. Every scoff, every dismissive comment from the council races had only fueled their determination to prove themselves. New orders from Earth Command, Lieutenant Zhang reported. We're to begin patrolling the outer sectors. Apparently, several colonies have requested our specific protection against raiders. Commander Rivera grinned. Word travels fast. The Drachnid aren't the only ones who'll think twice about attacking a primitive vessel now. More than that, Maya added, reviewing data on her console. 3 other human ships are being retrofitted with our hybrid systems. We're not just changing the game, we're rewriting the rules. Chen stood at the bridge's viewing window, watching the council station recede into the distance. The Star Wanderer's quantum core hummed with power that the council races never imagined it could achieve, its hybrid systems working in perfect harmony. You know what the best part is? She mused to her crew. They gave us exactly what they thought we deserved, and we turned it into exactly what we needed. Every limitation they imposed became an opportunity. Every system they stripped down gave us room to innovate. The Star Wanderer accelerated smoothly, its metamaterial hull shifting to optimize its quantum field profile. To any observer, it still looked like a patched-together gift given to a species barely ready for the stars. But appearances, like so many things, could be deceiving. Set course for the outer sectors, Chen ordered. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can really do. As they engaged their hybrid drive system, Chen reflected on how far they'd come. The Council had meant to put humanity in its place with their gift. Instead, they had given humans the tools to define their own place in the galaxy. It wasn't the first time an advanced civilization had underestimated humanity's potential, and it probably wouldn't be the last. But that was fine. Sometimes the greatest advantage was being underestimated, and humanity would keep advancing, keep innovating, keep finding new ways to turn limitations into opportunities. After all, that's what humans did best.